Do you think professional athletes are overpaid? It's a question that sparked countless debates across dinner tables, sports bars, and social media platforms worldwide. We see the staggering figures splashed across headlines: NBA stars signing contracts worth hundreds of millions, NFL quarterbacks inking deals that could fund small countries, and MLB sluggers whose yearly salaries could solve a city's budget crisis. These athletes, our modern-day gladiators, are often portrayed as the epitome of wealth and success. We see them in their extravagant mansions, cruising in their luxury cars, and vacationing in exotic locales. The media, both traditional and social, plays a significant role in promoting these images. We're bombarded with news of the latest multi-million-dollar contract, the newest endorsement deal, the priciest real estate purchase. Every digit added to the paycheck seems to elevate their status, their fame, their influence. Yet have you ever stopped to ponder if these figures truly reflect what these athletes take home? Sure, the numbers are impressive, but are they indicative of the actual income that these sports icons pocket? Let's break it down. Consider the taxes, federal, state, sometimes even city. Then there's the agent fees, often a hefty percentage of the overall contract. Don't forget the union dues, another slice off the top. And then there's the cost of living the life of a professional athlete. The training, the nutrition, the medical care, the insurance. When you start adding up these costs, those mind-boggling contracts begin to seem a little less extravagant. And that's just the financial aspect. There's also the stress, the uncertainty, the very real risk of career-ending injuries. The pressure to perform to justify those millions can be overwhelming. So before we rush to label these athletes as overpaid, let's take a moment to consider the reality behind those headline-grabbing figures. But what if we told you that these figures are often far from the reality? Consider this: a professional athlete's salary is not all profit. It's easy to look at the multi-million-dollar contracts of NFL, NBA, and MLB players and think they're set for life. But the reality is far from it. Let's take the example of an NFL player. Say he signs a high-profile contract worth $20 million. Sounds like a lot, right? But that's before the deductions begin. First up, taxes. Depending on where the athlete lives and where they play their games, they could be paying up to half of their salary in taxes. Let's take a conservative estimate and say that's 40%. That's $8 million off the top, leaving our player with $12 million. Then come the agent fees. A good agent can command anywhere from 3 to 10% of an athlete's contract. For our NFL player, that's another $2 million gone. Now, he's down to $10 million. Next, we have union dues. These can vary, but let's say they're around $20,000 per year. That's another $100,000 over a 5-year contract. Our player is now down to $9.9 million, and we haven't even considered the cost of maintaining an athlete's lifestyle. Training costs, dietary needs, travel expenses, these can all add up, not to mention the pressure to live up to a certain image, which can lead to additional expenses like luxury cars, homes, and more. So, while our NFL player started with a contract worth $20 million, he's left with significantly less. And this isn't a rare scenario. It's the reality for most professional athletes. To top it all off, these are just the financial costs. There's also the physical toll, the risk of injury, the stress of performance, and the uncertainty of a career that can end at any moment. So the next time you see a headline about a sports star's multi-million-dollar contract, remember, it's not all going into their bank account. Imagine having a job where your contract isn't guaranteed. Now that's a scenario that sends chills down anyone's spine, isn't it? Welcome to the world of professional sports, where the stakes are not just high, but often unpredictable. Take a moment to consider this. You're a professional athlete at the top of your game. You've worked tirelessly to reach this level, sacrificing time, comfort, and often personal life. You've signed what seems like a lucrative contract, but it's non-guaranteed. That means, if you're cut from the team, your income stops just like that. In the National Football League, for instance, contracts are often not fully guaranteed. Players may be released before their contract term ends, leaving them without the promised pay. One day you're in, the next day you're out. It's a revolving door that can leave even the most seasoned players reeling. Remember the case of Trent Richardson, the 3rd overall pick in the 2012 NFL Draft? After a promising start, Richardson's performance started to decline. The Indianapolis Colts released him just 2 years into his 4-year contract. Suddenly, the millions he was supposed to earn vanished into thin air. And it's not just financial uncertainty that these athletes face. The emotional toll can be equally daunting. The pressure to perform consistently, the fear of injuries, the anxiety of being replaced, these are constant companions for many professional athletes. In the world of professional sports, job security is as elusive as a mirage, and the stress of a non-guaranteed contract often overshadows the glamour, the fame, and the perceived wealth. So the next time you see a sports star signing a multi-million-dollar contract, remember, not everything that glitters is gold. Behind the glitz and the glamour, there's a world of uncertainty, a world where the sword of a non-guaranteed contract constantly hangs over your head. It's not all glitz and glamour in the world of professional sports, is it? So, are professional athletes overpaid, or are they just like us, trying to make a living? We've journeyed through the glitz and glamour of professional sports, only to discover a less talked about side of the story. Behind those multi-million-dollar contracts lie hidden costs that often go unnoticed. The hefty taxes, the agent fees, the union dues, and other unanticipated expenses. Furthermore, the specter of non-guaranteed contracts looms large, casting a shadow of uncertainty over the lives of these athletes. One moment they're on top of the world, the next they could be out of a job. Heartbreaking, isn't it? It's a stark reminder that professional athletes, despite their fame and fortune, also grapple with financial stress and job insecurity, much like the rest of us. So before we pass judgment on the earnings of these sporting stars, let's consider their real-life struggles and challenges. If you found this video informative and insightful, remember to like and subscribe to this channel. Stay tuned for more eye-opening content.